So let me walk you through this story, y'all. This was a big deal, and this happened just the other day. So let's talk about the good portion first. Here's the good portion. So the other day, Catherine Clark, who's the number 2 ranked Democrat in the House, she was at an event, and she described what Israel is doing in Gaza as, quote, genocide. So Zateo has the piece here, but let me just play the video for you. Second most powerful House Democrat calls Israel's genocide a genocide. Catherine Clark's admission underscores how far Democrats are being pressured by the public to move from the previously friendly conventions with Israeli leadership. So here's what she said. It's a short clip, but listen, it's actually very good.
To continue to have an open heart about how we do this, how we do it effectively, and how we take action in time to make a difference. Whether that is stopping the starvation and genocide and destruction of Gaza, or whether that means we are working together to stop the redistricting that is going on, taking away the vote from people in order to retain power. And it's exhausting to do all of it, but we have to.
Okay, so as Prem Thakur points out here, not only is Clark the second most powerful House Democrat, her photo is also featured on AIPAC's website with the caption, quote, "We stand with those who stand with Israel." And now Clark just admitted Israel is committing genocide. So she's taken a bunch of money from AIPAC. She's on AIPAC's website, and here she was at some event, which, by the way, I'm sure she thought not many people were even fucking watching it. And she says, you know, we got to stop the genocide. And she links it to other political issues. Okay, so when we saw, everybody was overjoyed when they saw this. I saw people, ecstatic on Twitter, putting finally, there's fucking movement in the right direction. And like I said, she's number 2 behind Hakeem Jeffries, which then leads people to start thinking Game of Thrones style. Hey, dog, we got to get this dude out of the way, bro. We got to, if this is the number 2 person and they're willing to call the genocide in Gaza a genocide, then they deserve the number 1 position. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? Ready for this? Within the next day or 2, I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2 days, but it was a very short time frame, okay? Days after saying we have to take action to stop the starvation and genocide and destruction of Gaza, top Democrat Catherine Clark backtracks, says she wants to be, quote, clear that I am not accusing Israel of genocide. Number 2 House Democrat clarifies comment about genocide, quote, I want to be clear that I am not accusing Israel of genocide, House Minority Whip Catherine Clark just told JNS. Holy shnikes. You have got to be kidding me. Is it conspiratorial to point out that Occam's razor here is that she got a fucking phone call from the Israel lobby, from AIPAC, remember, according to Thomas Massey, everybody in Congress, or at least everybody who takes money from AIPAC, they have an AIPAC guy who, is their shadow and who tells them what to do and how to vote on certain legislation, etc., right? Is it conspiratorial to say the most likely scenario is she calls it a genocide, it blows up on social media, people see it, and then her AIPAC person gives her a little phone call skis and says, hey, bitch, we gonna need you to go ahead and reel it in and clean up the mess you just made. You are not allowed to say that. Do you want $0.00 from AIPAC from now until the future? Do you want us to fund whoever wants to? We can find a primary opponent to take your bitch ass down. We could do that. So either you go and you clean this up, or your career is about to be over. Also, we all know the Israelis run these blackmail rings. What dirt do they have on her? I'd imagine it's much harder to get dirt on a female congresswoman compared to a congressman, because all those motherfuckers are dirty as fuck. We all know that. We got, what's his face? I forget his name, but Madison Cawthorn, who was it's congressman in a wheelchair, and he's like, yeah, I was invited to orgies. Other congress people would come up to me and be like, hey, you want to come get your dick sucked? We're going to do some cocaine. We're going to have some sex. It's going to be nice. And he was like, what the fuck? So I'm sure it's easy to get dirt on the men, hard to get dirt on the women. But the fact that, how little self-respect do you have, Catherine Clark, to tell the truth? So clearly you know the truth because you told the truth. You said the right thing. Hey, it's a genocide. It's not that hard to determine it's a genocide. There's stories in the news every fucking day. The most horrible shit you've ever heard. World Central Kitchen workers being bombed. UN buildings being bombed. Innocent children being starved to death. Sadistic games by the IDF where they'll shoot at a different body part of Palestinian children on a day-to-day basis. One day it's the leg and 10 people come into the hospital with their fucking leg blown off. Another day it's literally the testicles. One doctor explained that in detail how that went down. You know it's a genocide. We all know it's a genocide. It's obvious. And then you actually tucked your tail between your legs and came out there and said, oh, I want to be clear, I'm not accusing it. So then who's doing the fucking genocide? If you're not accusing Israel of genocide, who are you blaming? Is it Madagascar? Do you think the Swedes are responsible? What are we doing? What are you talking about? What are you doing? I mean, it's just fucking humiliating. And so, look, all I have to say is the more shit like this happens, the more radicalized the base becomes. The Democratic base right now, only 8% of them support Israel. That shit is going to be zero soon. It's going to be donut. It's going to be nothing, nada, zilch. There's not going to be a single Democratic voter left who says, yeah, I like Israel. It's kind of hard to casually like a nation that's carpet bombing innocent people every day, right? That's starving people to death every single day. That's stealing territory and admitting it, saying it out loud. We're going to resettle all of Gaza. We're going to reoccupy all of Gaza. We're going to take the West Bank. I'm on a mission from God to create a greater Israel. This is what Netanyahu said. I'm on a spiritual mission to create a greater Israel. Kind of hard to like that country, right? There needs to be consequences for this, y'all. This is what you need to understand. I don't care if you could be nihilistic, you could be pessimistic, you could be like, I don't even bother voting anymore for X, Y, and Z reasons. But any single candidate that runs in the Democratic primary who is not taking AIPAC money and who is willing to stand up and oppose the genocide, you need to go vote for them. You need to support them. You need to do anything you can to get them elected. Because at this point, this is comical. When only 8% of your base supports Israel, and then you have the number 2 Democratic, like, someone needs to run the numbers. What are the numbers? What is it like? Only 8% of the Democratic base supports Israel, but like 92% of the Democratic politicians support Israel? Like, what are the numbers? It is so wildly out of whack that it's mind-boggling. They are not representing us in any way, shape, or form. And again, then it begs the question, what does it come back to? Does it come back to the money in politics and the corruption in the Israel lobby, or does it come back to genuine ideology? And at this point, I think it's both. I think both play a role. It's not just that they're like, they're mercenaries for hire that are supporting Israel, but it's like a lot of them were already pro-Israel to begin with, and then when you add the money on top of it, they become like ironclad pro-Israel. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them are just Zionists. They just truly are Zionists. But guess what? In the year of our Lord 2025, that is fucking unacceptable. We are done with this. We're not playing this game anymore. And I think people know how history is going to view this, and that's really the wake-up call. The wake-up call should be the people that are denying this right now, they will be looked at as no different than literal Holocaust deniers. They're going to be looked at exactly the same as that. And people are going to be disgusted by you. They're going to think you're a monster of historic proportions. And you're going to want to have... Look, what are you going to tell your grandkids, right? What are you going to tell your fucking grandkids? These people are shameless. Absolutely disgusting, absolutely shameless. And we got to send a message, bro. We got to send a message to them. It's not acceptable. Basically, the entire fucking Republican Party, except Thomas Massey, is pro-Israel. That's like 99.99%, right? And way too much of the Democratic Party is pro-Israel. And they need to know this is unacceptable. So I'd say call her. Call Catherine Clark. Call her and say, I don't give a fuck what happened. After you told the truth, I don't care what happened. I don't care if the Israel lobby called you or didn't, AIPAC called you or didn't. I don't care if you got called from some angry constituents who disagree with. I don't care. Tell the fucking truth. Tell the fucking truth. Be an honest, decent person and tell the truth. No more of this Weasley bullshit where, you gotta do a U-turn and get out of Dodge and start lying again because God forbid a politician be fucking honest for once. So, just shameful. Just so shameful. You think we're finally getting somewhere, and then boom, doesn't happen. Like the extent to which our politicians lag behind the morality of the people, it's astronomical. It is just it's so off that it seems almost not possible that even accidentally they would agree more with the people than they fucking do. But no, here we are. And there needs to be consequences for this. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.